It's the last hurrah before the big day. Stories run wild in the craziest way. From Vegas nights to the beach town vibes. We're laughing or party, you're in for a ride.
Hello, everybody, and happy holidays. This is
Merry
Drunken
Christmas.
Suits. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Throw it all in there. Happy Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating. We are glad you are chiming in to Drunken Suits. We have a fun episode for you today. If this is your very first episode, let me give you a little breakdown of what Drunken Suits is. This is a podcast about different places to have bachelor and bachelorette parties across America. We dive into the city, what it has to offer, and kind of what's unique about it. What does it really bring for those parties? So, without further ado, I'm one of your hosts, Bobby Carlson.
And I am Will Crowbach. And for all you guys out there listening, make sure if you're enjoying the content, make sure you give us a subscribe, a like, a follow, whatever it is. It really does help us, goes a long way, and we do appreciate it. So, let's get into it, man. Today's going to be a fun one. As you can tell, we got our Christmas colors on here. So what are we going to be talking about?
Absolutely. So we got a fun one here. So why is it so fun? It's because it's Christmas time, and we're doing a little bit different. All right, everybody. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go grab a cold one, maybe make a little mixie, pull up your stool, and put on your listening caps or listening ears, whatever the teachers are going to say, because today we are diving into St. Augustine, Florida.
All right, let's get a little cheers going here.
Let's go. Cheers. I got a drink. All right, so St. Augustine, Florida. Yeah, so one of us lives in Florida.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. South Florida. So a little bit different. We're talking St. Augustine, which is up and then on the East Coast on the north side. You are about 50 minutes south of Jacksonville and then about an hour and 10 minutes north of Daytona. So if that gives you any sort of perspective, that is where St. Augustine is located. Very, very small town. But I think what most people are probably going to know is the nation's oldest city tagline.
It is, and that's pretty cool. That is, I think, it's so cool.
But kind of. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. I came across this. It's kind of a technicality here. It's the oldest continuously occupied European establishment in the U.S. Pensacola was actually started before that, but wasn't continuously inhabited. So I saw a lot of debates online about Pensacola getting mad about this. So I need to bring that up.
Okay, you're the history buff. I got you. Okay. Well, we're just going to take it as the oldest city because it's easier to say on the podcast. We're not taking sides, but we're just taking it the easy route. So we're saying this is the easiest saying. It's the oldest city. So we're talking about Florida, though. Quite hot, quite humid. And that's really the summers. In the winters, it's still going to be it's a mild winter, still going to be pretty warm. You can walk outside, no problems. Last episode, we talked about some skiing and some slopes and the real freaking cold. Now we're getting real warm, which is kind of confusing, but let's talk more about St. Augustine first. So we have about 15,000 residents. And that's it. That's a small amount.
Yeah, I mean it's just very small area. About 10 square miles really is like the city proper. So it's a very small space, but as you can tell, it's a very historic city. So it kind of lends well in that sense.
It does. And so average age is about 47 years old. That really comes in from a big mix of longtime residents there, mixing in with people wanting to retire there. So that kind of, boosts up the age a bit. From that 15,000, you're thinking average age 47. Yes, there's probably some new people, and what I've got a lot of like the newer people that's young, that's lowering the age a little bit, is a lot of remote workers. Remote workers want to live there, and then you have also your retirees living there.
Okay, that's interesting. Um, I guess it makes sense then because right the area is considered to be very safe for the most part. In terms of affordability, it's going to be cheaper than South Florida, but maybe a little bit more expensive than some of the central locations because it is on the coast side. Um, yeah, I mean, it seems like a place that is pretty tourism dependent and seasonally dependent.
So actually, tourism drives the economy here. They have tens of millions visitors a year annually. I was going to say a year and annually, same thing, but but if you're thinking 15,000 residents to tens of millions visitors a year, that's a huge, significant place that is just striving on that on those tourism and that money coming in.
Yep. Yep, and those peak times, they are mostly in the summer, so your June through August months, and as well as the winter. So middle of November to early January specifically. And as you can tell, the Christmas outfits this time of year is a huge thing there. One of their
Yes.
major draws and major reasons why we picked St. Augustine to do for our Christmas episode.
Absolutely. It's a huge draw. Thousands and millions of people in the streets on their Christmas time. So, usually in the episode, we talk about these little facts and then daytime, nighttime, and then like the events and festivals and stuff. Screw that. We're switching it up today. We are getting into why St. Augustine is our Christmas special episode.
Let's do it. Let's
Let's
do it.
do it.
All right. What do we got? It is called the Night of Lights. Nights of Lights. That's their big thing here. Um, really, their signature winter time event, and it comes across on these lists of Christmas events that people want to travel to. Always rated super highly.
Yeah, especially when you're thinking about winter in the US, there's a lot of cold areas to go to that can be beautiful. You can get your real, I know from us, like PA Christmas, your real snowy and whatever you need. But this is a big difference when it comes to it because you're walking around. The city is very walkable and very warm at this time.
Yeah, it's millions of just tiny little white lights that are wrapped around buildings, palm trees, balconies. Imagine just like kind of colonial-ish style buildings lining the road and just Christmas decorations everywhere. Um, that's kind of what you're looking at. It, like I said, it comes from that middle of November timeframe to early January, aligning right with the Christmas and wintertime holidays. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a very tourist heavy option. Trolleys, boat cruises, tours, all of that specifically focused in the Christmas season.
And so, where does this happen in it? It's called the Historic District, and it's the entire historic district covered with those millions and millions of lights. So, it sounds like funny, like, oh, Christmas lights, you're driving through a town and there's this couple houses, or, the one house that we call it, what do my parents always call it? I don't know. It's like somebody threw up Christmas on their front lawn, basically. And uh, they crapify it. I think that's the word, crapify it. They just go crazy. So this though is the entire district. It is every building, every tree. I mean, it's basically you're not driving on the lights, but you're pretty damn close. It is everywhere. So I know as we're talking here, I'm going to edit this and put a bunch of freaking pictures up there so everybody can see this. But this is why Christmas special episode got St. Augustine. St. Augustine, is it the craziest bachelor party? That's what we're going to dive into. But for a Christmas episode, this makes sense.
And as you were saying, there's all these lights and whatnot, but a lot of the restaurants and other major players in the area really lean into it too, and support the Christmas cause. Everyone kind of comes together. Um, yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost, if we're gonna jump into things here, is be careful of the time of year that you pick. I mean, it's gonna be super, super crowded if you go right now, right around the Christmas holiday, as well as that middle peak summer season. And actually, shout out to St. Augustine. You can just type in YouTube St. Augustine, and they have a live stream that's just continuously going. So I
I
was
saw that
looking at it,
too.
right? It's
That's
pretty
so
cool.
cool.
And if you don't believe us, you could quick type it in after you like, subscribe, maybe pause the video, and then come back. Don't forget to come back, um, and go check it out. It's going to be super busy at this time of year. And now, if you looked at it maybe in the fall, it's going to probably be a lot less busy.
You would think a lot less, but let me remind you, tens of millions visitors a year. It's Florida. This is like you're not on the very bottom of Florida where you're going to be roasting out, but you're also not so far north where you're getting like cold winters. It's kind of like a nice little spot. And I can understand why the Spanish and the British wanted to make this a city. It's pretty cool. I think very cool also thing when you're looking at these, like I want to show some pictures here. If you go to that live camera, some things you're going to see there. There is so the Spanish explorers came in 1565, right? And they have these buildings from those time periods, and it's these preserved buildings, and it's reflecting Spanish, British, and early American all over the city. So you have this beautiful, beautiful architecture. You have Flagler College right there. I don't know if you looked into that. Absolutely gorgeous. It used to be a fort, I believe, maybe a fort or something else. But I mean, it is just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. There's all these landmarks to go see.
I'm going to jump in here. The Flagler College
Please.
is actually the old Ponce de Leon Hotel. Um,
Oh, hotel.
right.
That's right.
Yeah. So this was Henry Flagler that kind of developed a lot of Florida and made it more of the modernized city that it is today,
Mm.
right? It established Miami, Palm Beach, Key West, kind of really brought those things together and introduced a lot of the tourism concepts to those places. So that's where the Flagler College is now, and I believe there's also like museums and a bunch of different architectural stuff that occurs there too. Definitely one of the larger draws for the sightseeing aspect.
So I got to see this. So just along with that architecture and the influence of everything as well. So yeah, so now you got this modern side to it and people coming in. So this is the closest to European cities without leaving the US is what I saw. So why, right? Like what makes it like that? You got your cobblestone roads and sidewalks. You have plazas all over the place. You have old forts, you have wine bars, and you have a walking culture through the entire city. So all of that, it's like a European city, a lot of draw of Americans because it's something unique and different from your normal cities. So pretty cool that St. Augustine kind of covers that for a lot of people that want to travel.
So one thing that I kept thinking about when looking at, especially looking at pictures, but kind of just learning about it, it seemed like this was like colonial New England, Boston meets almost like New Orleans, right? It almost kind of has both of those elements. Maybe not in like the vibe aspect, but in just the way that it looks, where you have the cobblestone streets like the early American, which then meets the Spanish architecture and some of those other British influences.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think what you're grabbing from the architecture is definitely that colonial side, right? So your first colonies and first early American civilizations, and you're pulling those. And I think it has a lot of that, but also that Spanish and British side really comes out here too, which is really cool to see. I think it's just an absolutely gorgeous city. So I think that's a pretty cool if your bachelor party or bachelorette party, you know, your picture side, or you know, you just want to, your group really likes that kind of see something they haven't really seen before. So I think that's a cool aspect.
Yeah, and speaking of see something and picturesque, right? You got to talk about the fort, right? Fort Castillo de San Marcos it's this old Mason fort, very iconic picture scene in St. Augustine. So that's going to be like one of the major history draws too for a lot of the different people that are going to want to come here. And I mean, while we're on that topic too, right? I think your group is going to have to at least appreciate a little bit of history if you really want to do a bachelor party here, because that's going to be a lot of these different big activities to do are going to revolve around the history of the city.
Absolutely agree. There's a lot of landmarks, a lot of different attractions they have here, and that's definitely going to fill up a lot of my daytime activities to do. So you brought up one, the fort. So I want to go through a couple more. There's a pirate museum. Love that. Always wanted to be a pirate. Two things I always wanted to be growing up. One was a pirate, drink rum all day, and just go around searching for treasure and booty, and just again drinking rum all day. Sounds awesome. Get a bunch of your boys together on a boat and just sail the sea. Sounds awesome. The second one, and people from my elementary school will know this. I wanted to be an elf, and that's a quite embarrassing one, but it was always up there. So getting to live both dreams right now, dressed as an elf, talking about a pirate museum, awesome.
That is incredible. I mean, I don't even know where you come up with these things sometimes, man. That is amazing.
Well, some other other attractions out there. Now that we got that out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, we can't just gloss over
No, we
the
should.
pirate
We should.
influence, because no, because
Pirate
this place
influence.
has a significant pirate influence. There's a lot of legends. There's a lot of like Spanish missions that lean into the history, and it also has kind of this fountain of youth tourism esque thing. Um,
There is the
what
fountain
I've
of youth.
Right, but I mean, they lean into it a little hard. I've heard it's a little bit like what's the word? I don't know, but
Nice.
a, a little bit extra.
Okay. Yeah, glammed up kind of thing, and but again, they have all these tourists. People want to come see it. I mean, I just know this from history class. I didn't really look this up, but Columbus was one of his like side missions kind of thing was always to find the fountain of youth. And when he landed in Florida, after he went south and then after the islands and came out to Florida, he saw the palm trees and like all this luscious gardens and stuff. And he found like some waterfall or something and claimed it to be the fountain of youth just because of the beauty of Florida. And that was one of his key things going back was like, I need to set like, spend or whatever needs to send more money on the boat so they can explore this more. So that was always a cool thing, and I think that's where he landed and said, "This is the fountain of youth." Was St. Augustine, which is kind of cool for the city.
Yeah, I mean, other than it being Juan Ponce de Leon and not Columbus, that's more or less true, right? But um, yeah, supposedly this body of water that
Same thing, right? Yeah. No.
yeah, this magical body of water that keeps you young. Maybe it could turn you back into an elf. Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Fountain of Youth.
But
I did have some other attractions other than the Fountain of Youth as well. So pirates are very cool. There's also a zip line at Alligator Farm to go see. There's a very famous lighthouse that's been there from the start that you could go climb up with breathtaking views. And then there is a Lightner Museum. Did not look into that one, but if you want to look it up, go for it.
yeah, one note on that lighthouse too. They really lean into the whole Christmas season too. We'll light
Oh,
that whole
nice.
thing up during the winter holidays as well.
Awesome.
Um, Now you're mentioning a lot of these different uh, locations to look at. This is actually one thing and one topic or location, I should say, that we discussed potentially for a Halloween episode as well.
Oh, you
So
stole this one from me. I was gonna see if you saw that at all.
yeah, yeah. So this is there's definitely a lot of rumored and haunted elements that come with this. Now, hot take, I think a lot of these cities that are claimed to be like haunted attraction cities are just very historic cities that have things that haven't been touched in years and years and just inherently look a little creepier because they're run down. Just my take on it, but you do
Yeah,
with that with what you will.
if it
But
drives
yeah,
tourism, right? Like
yeah.
somebody's gonna come see it because you're doing it, or enough people will, and you make it even bigger. Then, so I mean, I get it. I totally get it.
I get it too. But you know, it is regardless is it's considered one of the most haunted cities in the United States. So you know the from the graveyards, the weird, creepy history, different shipwrecks, and the military activities that
Forts.
went on there, forts, right? Yeah, there's plenty to do. So the lighthouse is one in itself. It's considered a haunted lighthouse. There's reported to be children's laughter, footsteps, strange audios, and EMF readings. So they even say like some of the former families that were keepers of the lighthouse still loom around there too. So
Ooh,
pretty creepy, huh?
yeah. No, I saw a bunch of that too. Bunch of tours and different stuff. I think that it's part of the city's reputation for sure. I think that's a big part of their tourism. And there's also a lot of bars that I saw want to like use that reputation and have like ghost bar crawl kind of stuff or ghost shots or different stuff like that. So just wanted to throw that into the spookiness.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's tons of haunted tours for sure. Um, you have some that are just like walking tours, some that are just brewery tours, like you mentioned. I've seen even some that were golf cart tours that go to these different haunted attractions along the way.
Nice.
And then, yeah, just like little bus kind of things. But some of them are kind of interesting. The one that I thought was kind of cool was the old jail. I don't know if you saw this.
No,
It's
I didn't.
you kind of go through you act as if you're like a paranormal investigator and go through this old jail with like equipment on, trying to like find readings and stuff. So I think if your group is gonna go here, maybe this would be one of those things you guys have a bunch of drinks and free game and then go out and do and like scare the crap out of each other. That could be a great thing to do. Hopefully your group
Yeah.
is okay with that kind of stuff.
You get in the right mindset, that could be a lot of fun. I think. I know. I went to the Eastern State Penitentiary in PA. There, it got a little. It got. I don't know. They say that's like very haunted and stuff, and there's some weird things in there. So I could see this being like a fun thing for a group, or it doesn't have to be the entire day or the reason you go there, but something to do while you're there. So yeah, definitely. I think that's cool. Did you have
And
any
I
other
just
like attraction adventure kind of stuff like that?
not really. So that's kind of why I wanted to bring those things up is because I feel like your nightlife angle here, and I'm not trying to get too far ahead of ourselves, but your nightlife's going to be a little hard to come by. So you might have to get creative or lean into doing some of these things that might not be your number one activity.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Very fair. Um, well, then let me like help break down to a little bit of St. Augustine just to kind of understand. So you got Old Town, historic district, historic town, all different names for it, but Old Town is the real name for it. You got your restaurant shops. It's all walkable. It's got your bars there. So it's most of the where tourists would be going. The houses here, not so much. It's more the condos, different stuff, more people living there. Then you have your Anastasia and beaches. So this is all like beach living, your mansion houses on the beaches and your like just beach access. Jesus Christ, Bobby. Your beach access. Your beach access. And these are some beautiful beaches. Gorgeous
Yeah.
beaches.
So yeah, you probably were expecting us when we mentioned it was a city in Florida to start with this. And maybe we should have, who knows? But it's the holidays. We got a little excited. Maybe had a little too much eggnog. Who knows? But yeah, so the beaches are very, very nice there. And I would imagine that this is probably the biggest or one of the largest draws for the summertime, at least in support of the city.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's just like one other real sectioned off place of this. It's the South St. Augustine. This place is a lot quieter. It's not going to have your restaurants, bars, all that stuff. It's more residential living and kind of your retiree location. There's some good golf around there, but it's more, again, it's just a quieter spot. I just want to emphasize again, tourism drives the economy here. So like these places where the tourist goes is where everything's going to be. In your residential spots, it doesn't really make sense to go to.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty much just like a quiet town area where
Mhm.
it's not tourism focused. But you were talking about the historic downtown area a little bit, and that reminded me of one thing I saw. One quick fun little fact was there's
Yeah.
this street called Treasury Street. So I think St. George is kind of the main street where a lot of people think about on this historic district area. But there's a street called Treasury Street that's only 7 feet wide. Um, it's
Whoa.
it's the narrowest street in the United States, and they apparently did this in the beginning to try to like inhibit thieves from like stealing stuff and like trying to move it down this road. So I just thought that was kind of cool.
I'm a messed up person. My mind instantly went to like a your mom joke. Because like your mom can't even fit down that street. But she's a great fan of the show, so I don't want to say that. So I'm going to say, somebody else's mom. Your
I'm
mom's a
sure she
lovely.
will appreciate that.
Shout out to you, Beth. Love you. But
Oh man.
that's a cool thing about this architecture too. Though is a lot of these streets are very narrow and it's all the cobblestone, and so it's very cool architecture through it. It's a very Spanish laid out for the civic engineers out there, right? That would be civic engineer for
Sybil,
civil engineers. Jesus,
man, you're
yeah,
gonna
civil engineers
offend both
do
of my
the.
parents in one episode.
Oh shoot, yeah, he makes bridges. All right. I wasn't offending you, Beth. I love it. All right. Cool. Well, I have some more daytime stuff here. So again, we got the beaches, we got water. I always want to bring that up because the beach town it's like, oh, it's just a beach town, it's unique or whatever. So yeah, it's unique. It's got water. There's so many other cities that we're going to talk about that doesn't have a water aspect to it or doesn't have a beach front. If you're a bachelor party, go to the beach, man. This is a beach town. Like, go to the beach. You got surfing, you got biking that you can rent on, and there's like surf lessons. There's bikes you can rent that you can bike the coastline, which is very cool. You got charter boats. You have these old town style cruises. Like you kind of mentioned earlier, cruises to watch these lights, but they have that year round cruises all around. There's an inlet on St. Augustine that you can go to where there's kayaking and paddleboarding you can rent out. And then one other thing I just want to mention that's not on the water, there's golf here too. Some beautiful, beautiful golf. Two courses that come to mind, and I would love to hear any viewer one or the other, and I want to know why. But there's TPC Sawgrass, or there's World Golf Village.
I saw those as well. They are definitely it's a prime spot for golfing, that's for sure. They
Yeah,
even have some great public courses in the area, um, and a lot of different mini golf things too. Right, that's always kind of feels like part of a beach town, but the
yeah.
big time golf it also has a lot of potential for that kind of thing too.
Mini golf on a bachelor trip would go hard. Like seriously, like you think about that and like the group going mini golfing, doing a little betting, side betting, everything, like doing like, a drink a hole on mini golf, like, that could be
That would be
so
good.
much fun. Yeah. I
For
don't know. I,
sure.
I love that idea. And then the last little stuff I have for daytime then. So I have these waterfront drinking places. So just a couple shout outs here. Found three of them. Just I think a beach bar, a shack, whatever. Like talk dirty. So I've got Salt Life Food Shack. I got the A1A Ale Works, and I got Caps on the Water. Caps on the Water, it is like the spot to go to for sunsets on the water.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting, right? The how the sunset's on the other side. You're on the east coast of Florida, so maybe they're
This is
facing
what
that
it
way.
said on the research. I don't know, man. No, yeah, they
Yeah,
said
that's
sunsets on the
cool.
water. It's the spot to go. So
I mean,
pretty
beach
cool.
bars are always just a great time too. Like
Yeah,
nothing better than getting off the beach and not having to be make a beeline back to the place to shower and change or whatever. You just kind of be lazy, go out, grab some drinks. That's awesome.
also gotta love it for lunch times. Like you're on the beach in the morning and you're like, I just need like a burger and a beer, and it's like it hits so hard coming off that beach. Ice cold beer when you're oh yeah, hell yeah.
For sure, for sure. So you mentioned lunchtime, right? Maybe we should jump over and talk about some of the different food that is in St. Augustine here.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what you start with because I've got just a little bit, and it's kind of more the influence. So I would love to hear what you got, and well, I'll jump in.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I would say that St. Augustine's probably most known for its seafood mixed with like the southern flair. Um, it has some in terms of like formality. It kind of has everything. So you have some of these like local spots that are like focused on the seafood and the shellfish and that kind of coastal specific diet. Then you have a lot of different elevated dining as well as casual dining, and this can feature range anywhere from like American food to Spanish to different other Latin country influences. And then, of
Yeah,
course, they have a lot of different brunch spots as well. So um, that's always just like going to be a great hangover cure. I'm sure bachelor party you're going to be drinking, of course. And
of
they have
course.
a ton of these brunch spots, which are perfect for that.
Perfect. Yeah, good brunch. Oh yeah, don't have to wake early. Hell yeah. Really for what I had for food, um, it's not influencer food, it's heritage food. So you got like a lot of your old time stuff. And now like yes, there is the new time, foods in there or chains or whatever, but there's so much around here that has the old timey flavors and stuff coming from like you said, like seafood, huge here. Spanish influence and flavors, huge here. And then one thing I saw too, I don't know, I didn't do too much research on this, so I'm gonna be saying this wrong. Um Menorcan?
I, not sure.
Okay.
What's the context? I didn't see this.
Moroccan. It wouldn't be Moroccan. Maybe it's Moroccan. I don't know. Moroccan cuisine. But there's something local to St. Augustine and around the area in the region, and it's called a datil pepper, Datil pepper, and apparently it's in everything there. It's very local. It's to the region. It's spicy, it's sweet, and it's addictive. That's the three that they described it by. So that sounds good to
Spicy,
me. I'm not
sweet,
huge on
and
spicy, but I like the sweet,
addictive.
and it's a good probably mix. So I could see myself definitely trying that in St. Augustine.
Yeah, that's cool. So I didn't even see anything about that, but I'm sure that makes for a fun little unique Easter egg almost that keeps popping up. Um,
Yeah,
but you know, you have a good meal, you have some good food, you want to start getting after it. Let's jump over to the nightlife.
let's do it. Let's do it. Nightlife here, very compact. It's very walkable, very intimate. Not like your Miami or New Orleans or Vegas. It's definitely a quieter version, but there is nightlife. So let's hear what you got for it.
Yeah, I think for the way I would sum it up is a lot of historic style pubs, maybe creative and upscale like cocktail bars, and then just kind of like lively small town kind of things. That's kind of the main, like you're saying, right? You don't have this is not a clubbing spot by any means.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, I definitely think that's right. If your bachelor or bachelorette party is looking for your high end parties, your young, young people in the bars, or like the atmosphere of like we're going all night, this is not it. This isn't it. It doesn't. It's not only that it's like just not everywhere. It's really non-existent too.
It is, I would say, probably your only real opportunity for like a semblance of that would be if you're on that St. George's Street and you're bar hopping from place to place. You might run into some like local bands or something where you can start to get into that, maybe, but like, yeah, like you're saying, I don't think really anywhere has anything like that.
Yeah. Well, you said some local bands. Some places I want to give a shout out in historic district that have some good live music pretty frequently is the No Name Bar, the White Lion, and Meehan's Irish Pub. So these are just a couple that I saw have live music pretty frequently, and yeah, like you're saying, like bar hopping, very common here. Clubbing and all nighters, not common.
Yeah. I saw those as well. I'll throw out a couple more there. We have the Barley Republic, um, the Prohibition Kitchen, and River and Fort. So echoing everything that you're saying there, meets those same kind of requirements almost that it feels like the city has to have for you to have a bar.
Yeah, and well, I have another couple too that aren't in the historic district, but in that Anastasia and Beaches location. So
Let's
there's
hear
the
it.
pub. Sorry, yeah, the pub, Tide's Oyster Bar. Ugh, oysters. And
Don't like
Cafe 11.
oysters?
I don't like seafood, dude. I'm a weirdo. I know. I don't like
Wow,
any seafood. I try it all the time.
man.
And actually, like this past week, I kind of got slipped some octopus. And
Slipped. It sounds like you're getting
yeah.
drugged.
Oh,
What?
it was like a Christmas party. And they had like the Horvadors coming around.
Hors
And
d'oeuvres?
yeah, I know. Dude. And,
Oh
and
my gosh.
and the one dude, like, I couldn't understand what he was. I was like, oh, like, what is this? And he's like, what's that? And I was like, whatever. It was like wrapped in bacon. Like, like I could not yak at the Christmas party. And the one dude that was standing next to me knows, like, he knew I didn't like seafood, and he like instantly just started cracking up. He's like, "What is it?" And I was like, the guy's like, "Octopus." Like,
Oh my gosh. Even though it was bacon wrapped, you still couldn't get it done. Wow.
oh, dude, it was a little brutal. It's a little brutal. See, I try things. I do try them, but oh, not my cup of tea, man. Not my cup of tea.
Understandable.
Well, dude, let's get back into this though, because there's some other good bars, some good chill hangout spots. I do want to throw this out there. Like we said, it's not an all nighter. So the local area, it's a hard 2 a.m. close, but a lot of the bars are ending up closing at midnight or 1 a.m. or do a last call at midnight and kind of in that hour start getting everybody out. So again, you want that rowdy group, not the crazy nights. This is a good spot for you. So some cool like breweries too, and like some chill hangout spots that I saw that would be fun. You've got the Bog, you got Dog Rose, you got Old Coast Ales, you got Augie's Draft, you got Sarbez, Sarbez, Sarbez. You got Muggsy Tavern, and you got Stokey's Cigar Bar. So, you know, there are bars. You can go bar hopping. We've listed, I don't even know how many now, probably what, 3, 6, 9. And then I just listed, I don't know, 8 more. So like these are all good places to go, and I don't even name the beach one. So there's the beach one. So like, there's plenty of places to go out. You're just not going out all night, and you're not, clubbing. But there's live music, there's bars, there's beachfront bars. Like, it's kind of a weird mix. Like, I don't want to put down like, oh, just because you're not going out all night doesn't mean you're not going to have fun there.
Yeah. No, that's true. They do have their own bars. You'll be able to get a drink, that's for sure. There's no questions about that. But um, they definitely don't have the adult entertainment that I know you've come so affectionately liking to bring up.
No, you got it this time. Yeah, go for it.
I do. I'm gonna steal it from you. So, um, casinos and adult entertainment slash strip clubs. I'm gonna make it real easy. They don't exist here. Pretty much, if you want those things, you're gonna have to go to Jacksonville, which is north, or Daytona, which is south. So um,
Mm-hmm.
keep that in mind. That's really not going to be a thing. Now, bringing that idea into the picture, right? Maybe I could see this realistically working out where you spend some time in Jacksonville or some time in Daytona, and then a day or two in St. Augustine. That could be a possibility if this is like a serious place that you were thinking you want to do. Maybe keep that in mind.
Well, with that being said, we kind of brushed over this in the beginning. The closest airport is in Jacksonville. For major airports, it's in Jacksonville. Jacksonville is about 2 hours from St. Augustine, if that's correct.
I think
It's
it's more about an
about.
hour,
Oh, an
but
hour. Nice. Okay.
yeah.
I saw 2 hours. So my bad. All right. So an hour. Um, So an hour trip though, you fly in, you might want to stay there at night. Like you fly in, after work, and then you spend the night there, do your casinos, your strip clubs, and then in the morning take that hour drive to St. Augustine, check out it during the day, do all the history, the tours, beaches, whatever you want. Not a bad trip at all, and pretty accessible. If it's an hour, that's not bad at all. But if you're going to be flying in, you're going to go to Jacksonville anyway. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there are some, like, small regional airports, I think. There is one even that's, like, pretty close, um, to St. Augustine. It's the Northeast Florida Regional Airport, super small.
hmm,
Orlando, Daytona are other airports that are in the area. Orlando's gonna be a lot further, but, yeah, you're not gonna be, like, super close to an airport. That's a good thing to bring up. And then another thing along those like traveling lines is that parking here is a bit of a nightmare. Um, Anywhere within like the highly visited touristy areas it's gonna be hard to come by, and you're gonna have to pay for it pretty much no matter where you're going. So things to keep in mind. Some of those practical tips that we always like to share with you.
yeah, absolutely. I saw it is pretty safe though, and you did bring up money, the affordable side of it. Do you have much on that? Because it can very much differ.
Yeah, I mean I think big picture is that you're not going to be absolutely breaking the bank, and you're also not going to be a super budget place either. But
Hmm.
it can vary. You can tailor it either way, I think.
Very much so. That's exactly what I saw when I said it kind of differs. It's, are you going with one of the events? Are you going when there's going to be low spacing or perfect time for the beaches? Are you renting out a boat, or are you just like hanging out on the beach? It's very much, you can make it expensive or not. So I did bring up events right there. Can I transition to events, or you got any more on that
Let's
nightlife?
hear it. Nope. Let's hear it.
Cool. Well, so we brought up earlier the reason we're doing this episode, why St. Augustine and Christmas. It's that Nights of the Lights. We brought it up earlier, but one thing we did not mention that I think is very important, it is free. It is free to go to. Yes, it is free. You, Now, again, it's going to be quite crowded. Walking is probably going to be the best option for you. Getting in might be a little bit tough. Ubers through all times are pretty scarce when it comes to it, with how walkable it is, and especially later into the night, Ubers are actually more and more scarce. But other than Knights of the Lights, Knights of the Lights, their crown
Knights of the
jewel of
Lights.
events. One thing that St. Augustine really like prides themselves on is that there's more. Like it's not just a one shot Mardi Gras, and that's the whole city for like that's the one thing they hold to it, or it's like not the ball dropping in New York. Not that New York is one stop, but but it's they have food, art, and music festivals throughout the year. And then one other cool thing that I saw, there's concerts in Plaza, which are completely free, and they rotate classic rock, Latino music, all this different stuff. And that's every weekend. There is free concerts there, and it's Plaza de la Constitución.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So I always love the free stuff. Bachelor trip, you want to budget out, get a little concert in you, maybe listen to some music and start hopping in some bars. Like sick. That's a great night. Easy planning. Like, yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it does seem like they're always doing some sort of festival. I think they have like a calendar on the city website, and they always got something going on. That's usually, to your point, like either free or very low cost. So could be kind of an impromptu thing if you didn't look into it ahead of time and you just drop in and do. Or maybe you find some one of those events that you really like and try to plan it around that weekend too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's what I had for our Christmas special of St. Augustine. Do you have any other uniqueness or anything else that would go into the consideration of the rating beforehand?
No, I think we better jump into it. So I'm curious to
Let's
hear what
do
your
it.
breakdown is here, man.
All
Let's
right,
start with
cool.
you.
Well, overall bachelor party rating, St. Augustine, Florida. Here we go. The category breakdown and then like a rating. Remember, my ratings, if you average them out, it's not going to come out to what I actually think because some I weigh higher than other ones. So, food and drink, it's got some pretty unique coastal Spanish and different cuisines. Cons, it's not really like late night food city. That's not as much for larger groups as well, like fewer party group dining options. Daytime activities, I think it's pretty good. Daytime activities. There's things to do. You got your beach. You got your kind of uniqueness of the city, of the old time looks, different stuff. Is it a vast amount of stuff to do? No. The first time I was giving it like a 8.2. Daytime activities, I'm giving like a 7.8 ish. Kind of. There's things to do. Is it everything to do? No, but there's definitely stuff to do. Nightlife, walkable, awesome. Is there bars around? Yes. No real clubs, no real casinos, no real strip clubs. It's a hard stop at 2. But there is live music. There are pianos. Like pre midnight energy, pretty good. Like people are out, but that's ending at midnight. So I'm giving that like 5.7.
Okay.
Okay, so then uniqueness, culture, got huge culture here. Definitely unique. It's the oldest U.S. city. That's coming at like a 9.1. I think it gives a lot of like unique to it. It's not like every other city that you're gonna go visit. There's a ghost culture, there's Spanish culture, there's music, there's food. So pretty good culture and uniqueness in there. Safety, culture, I'm giving like a 9.1. I don't know if I said that. Safety, 8.2. Again, kind of tight streets and festivals. Stuff can happen, but very safe. Pretty rich area, so pretty safe. Accessibility, I'm giving it like a 7.0. Again, you gotta fly somewhere else unless you're region airport, most likely international going to Florida, so Jacksonville, and then it's all walkable, which is like pretty nice. But the Ubers do go down. So why is this like pretty good? It's pretty unique atmosphere, excellent food and cocktails, easy bar hopping. There's a beach. You got your history combo, safe, clean, and it's just absolutely freaking gorgeous. Why is it not great for all bachelor parties? Nightlife shuts down early. No adult entertainment, no high energy clubs or scenes, and no like crazy like daytime like the whole group is going four wheeling and whatever. there's that stuff to do, but it's not like this is the place. So, all in all, 5.9.
Okay. Okay. I hear it. That's a pretty fair breakdown. I think this is like it's a place that you would have to make an intentional choice to come here. I
Yeah,
don't think this is like just something you're gonna stumble upon on any bachelor party lists.
yeah.
Um,
But I mean, you really got to think too. Like our ratings, just for like the viewer out there, our ratings are like somebody could have so much fun here. Give me that 30-year-old bachelor party that's not thinking that crazy night. Like this could be perfect for them, and it's a 10 out of 10 for them. But our rating is, what does this place have to offer for all bachelor parties? Like, does it have a little something for everybody in there, or does it have a lot to offer for everybody in there, or is it really more just focused on one group, and that's when it's going to lower down? So it's not. I'm not saying this is a bad place by any means. I'm just saying it doesn't tailor to everybody.
yeah, that I mean it's a good caveat. So I think just kind of quickly sum up my thoughts on it. You touched on pretty much everything. Um, Pros, unmatched history and historicness, I think, in the area. That's going to be a big thing. Pretty good, like food and cocktails, that kind of stuff. A
Yeah.
walkable town and a lot of different unique day activities. Downside, weeknight life. It's a very family friendly location, which is probably not always what you're looking for on a bachelor party. Um, could be very crowded, and then there's just like limited, I guess like bad decision places to go. Like
Mm-hmm.
casinos, strip clubs, that kind of stuff. So with that, pretty similar score, but I'm gonna give it a 5.3 out of 10.
Ooh, okay, a little bit lower. Okay,
It is.
I
It
don't
is.
hate it. Actually, I was feeling a little bit lower in my head, and when I said 5.9, I say I said right, yeah, 5.9. I was feeling like it was a little bit high, anyways. Like after everything I said, but I'm sticking through it. I don't think it's a bad spot by any means, but I just think it's yeah. I think we're right there on the same page. The point something off from each other is it's not a crazy difference. So I think we're right there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, incredible for the vibes, the stories, that kind of stuff. If your party wants chaos, I don't think this is your city.
Yeah, but if your party did have chaos or is going to have chaos, let us know. We want to hear all about it. We thank you guys so much, so much for being a fan, listening to our podcast, liking our reels, and liking, sharing, commenting. We appreciate all of it. We're getting all these new ideas, all this different feedback. We appreciate every single comment, every kind of interaction with the podcast. And we want to hear more about your guys' bachelor trips. We want those stories. We want to know what happened 30 years ago. We want to know what happened yesterday. We want it all. We want to know about your bachelorette parties. We want to have the girl perspective on here. We want it all, guys. So thank you guys so much. Happy holidays, and we love you.
I and right before we go here, I have
Oh,
a little bit of a Christmas theme. So for you guys
let's
sticking around the
go.
end, you get to see
Yes.
the leg lamp. We got some Christmas decorations going on up here.
I do see the
Um,
ornament in the back.
yeah, yeah. So I just to be a little festive, right? I wanted to draw another kind of comparison or debate. So I think that sometimes when you're planning a bachelor party, right, or even the wedding, this could extend to. You have to really consider the naughty and the nice list. Who's gonna
Ooh.
make the nice list? Who's gonna get excluded? Lose an invite? Make it on the naughty list, right? Um, those are key factors when you're trying to think about who's going to make it, especially the bachelor or bachelorette party. You can't have that many people, so you're going to have to make some cuts at some point. Um, so next thing then, right? This comes down to the dynamics between the bride and the groom going on their respective bachelorette parties, maybe joint ones if that's what you decide to do. But the gift giving budget, right? Christmas is always like a big gift buying time. You have to figure out kind of like how you're going to spend it. Do you want to, splurge on one thing and then maybe you have to cut back on another? And then you have to consider, right, like, are the bride and the groom going to have arguments if one spent way more than the other? Another factor to think about. My third and final kind of analogy here, I'm going to throw it to the three wise men, right? They had
Whoa.
they brought the gold, the frankincense, and the myrrh. So with that said, who's bringing what kind of energy and what kind of gift to the bachelor party? Are you bringing the gold? Are you bringing the grand, extravaganza? Are you bringing the frankincense or the myrrh, the weird kind of like smelly thing in the corner that's like a little off-putting?
I'm gonna challenge that one. I'm gonna say the gold is the great energy. The myrrh is from Impractical Jokers. Myrrh, who's gonna bring the jokes and the funny guy, and then the frankincense. I don't even know what that is.
I love it. I love it. Bring myrrh on your bachelor party, or better yet, how about myrrh? You just come on and talk about it.
Yes, I love that. Let's go, myrrh.
But anyway, just a fun little Christmas analogy. You like to do those things around the holidays. But yeah, so like you were saying, right, everyone, we always appreciate you watching. Hope you have a great Christmas, Happy New Year. And don't forget to tune in, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, right? We always appreciate it. Tell some of your loved ones about it this Christmas.
Yes. Happy holidays, everybody.
It's the last hurrah before the big day. Stories run wild in the craziest way. From Vegas nights to the beach town vibes. We're laughing or party, you're in for a ride. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's the last hurrah before the big day. Stories run wild in the craziest way. From Vegas nights to beach town vibes. We're laughing or party, you're in for a ride.